So in the previous video, I was talking about how this Cummins 12 valve was actually quite low on power before I pulled it out of the truck. And right now it sits on the stand here. And there's some actually quite knowledgeable guys on this 12 valve in the comments section of that video if you want to go and have a look. So I think before I dig into this engine, I should really run it on the stand and check what I have for fuel pressure. So I have some fittings on the way that would enable me to hook up a gauge, and so it could be a lift pump issue. Someone suggested to check the pre-filter, and on this engine it's already been bypassed, so there should be a pre-filter down in here, and somebody has removed it and disabled the fuel heater. So you know, it'll work like this, but ideally I would, you know, if I can have that pre-filter intact, I would actually prefer to run it, you know, with that on there. One of the prime suspects is this bypass right here, and it could be letting the it could be keeping the pressure too low, like not allowing the pressure to build up. This is a bypass. Like the other end of this has a hose. It just feeds under here, and it'll be the thinner one of these two, and that just goes back to the tank. And I was looking at this. This is the timing pin to locate top dead center on the engine, and it's very handy for checking timing on the fuel pump, and also if you want to change the timing on the pumper, you know, that kind of thing. So I was looking at this thing. See, it's actually located. I'm going to grab a light here really quick. See, it's located under the fuel pump. You can see where it was attached right there, and also in that opening you can see a little hole, and that is on the back side of the drive gear for the fuel pump. So when this thing is probably not focusing, so when this pin inserts into that little opening of that drive gear, then the engine is either at top dead center or at the top of the exhaust stroke. So, and there's a way to verify which one that is. But yeah, so I was a little unfamiliar with what exactly I was looking at here, and this pin action seemed rather stiff, and so I created myself a little bit of extra work. I actually removed this entire assembly. Looks like there's a little clip that goes around there. So I'm going to put this thing on the workbench and remove that clip to see how easy that is. And I already got this thing sliding now, so I can put some pressure on it. So this retaining ring I think is fairly easy to remove. I just get a screwdriver in there and work it a bit. I should be able to get that thing out of there. Yeah, I would actually prefer if it was a snap ring. So now with this pin out, I can feel how lightweight that is, and yeah, so that's definitely not steel. And I had a screwdriver on here. I was scratching a little bit to see if maybe this was aluminum and just colored black, but no, it's still black underneath there. It appears to be some sort of a plastic. And so yeah, you know, I have actually created myself some extra work by removing this housing. Because see, these retaining bolts, they actually fit in here fairly loosely. See that? So if I would take this housing and I would just quickly go and bolt it back onto the engine, this housing would no longer be, you know, exactly in the place it was before. So I actually have to calibrate the housing now first before I can use it to locate top dead center if I want to do it this way. So what I'll do is, like when the cylinder head is off, I'll use a piston stop. I'll just make something, and then I can show you guys how I'm going to do that yet later. But I'll use I'll locate true top dead center on the engine, and then I will bolt this thing onto the engine with the pin inserted into that back of the drive gear for that pump. And once that's all in place, then I'll tighten these up with a little bit of Loctite, and then this is centered back in place. So yeah, like I wouldn't recommend removing the whole housing. All you got to do is just remove this clip and then pull this out, and then you can look inside there to see if you're getting close to where that hole is, and then just keep experimenting till you can get that thing to insert into that hole. But don't go and break it off, you know. It can happen very easily.